arriving in Scottsdale. Started my mission in June, the end of June. Scottsdale is where the burning of the world is going to start. It is incredibly hot there during the summer. When I got off the plane, it was 111 degrees. About 2 weeks before, I got an email from the mission secretary saying, "We're definitely excited for you to join us in our 112 degree weather." And I definitely got to experience what that's like. Having grown up in northern Utah most of my life, I've experienced hot days, but not anything quite like the dry heat of Arizona. And so that was the first thing that hit me. I just got off the plane, and the plane was air conditioned and whatnot. It was a comfortable environment, and I get off and instantly I'm sweating. I loved my mission president, one of the most wonderful people I've ever met, and I know that a lot of people say that, and so I kind of expected, like, going into the mission, like, oh, like, I'm gonna see him as just another person. But I definitely feel like I gained a lot of respect for my mission president, even just in the first couple days. Given the fact that I deal with anxiety, it was really hard for me to come into a new environment and try to adjust so quickly, especially since I'd only been in the MTC for 12 days. I was still adjusting to mission rules. And so I have new rules, a new environment, new people around me who don't know who I am. It was really, really uncomfortable. My first night, I had a total meltdown. I went and I locked myself in the bathroom in the mission home, and the mission president's wife had to come find me. And it took her about 10 minutes to get me out of the bathroom. And we went next door to the mission office, and we sat down, and she said, "How can I help?" And we put together a plan to help me to get through the first 3 months of the mission, which are historically and statistically shown to be the hardest for a lot of missionaries. Just adjusting to mission life is really, really difficult. And it was especially difficult for me because part of me almost didn't want to be there because I was so uncomfortable. It was hot. I walked outside and it was 90 degrees, and there were people I didn't know, and I didn't know what my purpose was, and I didn't feel like I belonged there. And so the mission president's wife helped me to get my bearings a little bit and to realize that I definitely had someone on my side when things got messy. Because sometimes I feel like missionaries forget that other missionaries are their friends, and they're very focused on the work and not so focused on the fact that they're working with other humans. But the mission president's wife, the mission mom, so to speak, was able to fight for me when I was really, really struggling, and that continued throughout my mission. I was dealing with migraines for the last 3 months of the 5 months that I served, and she was there every step of the way just trying to see what she could do to help. And that, I feel like my relationship with the mission president and his wife really helped to create a little bit more comfortable of a culture for me, and I really, really appreciated them for it. As far as Arizona itself, this was one of the other things that I didn't expect to ever say, but Scottsdale, Arizona mission is definitely the best mission on the earth. I really, really love the state. I love the people there. I don't feel like I meshed with a lot of them. Ideologically, we didn't always agree, but I still saw them as children of God, and we all had the common goal of getting back to Him and understanding who we are as His children. And so I definitely really, really came to love the people right away, which is something that I didn't entirely expect. I really loved the people of Arizona. Just a lot, I feel, it comes from their similarity to me. I only live 600 miles away from them, and so there's not a whole lot of cultural diversity. More than there is in Utah, though. My first area, though, was very much like Utah, in that the climate was very similar. Not all of Arizona is hot. In the eastern part of the state, we have the White Mountains, which at 7,000 feet, we tend to have a little bit cooler weather. It only gets up to about 100 during the day instead of like 110, 120. And there were, like Utah, pretty much only white people. We had a few Hispanics, just like Utah, but the first time I saw a black person on my mission was when I went down to Phoenix. So it wasn't until 3 months into my mission that I actually saw a little bit more diversity. So there's a lot of similarities to Utah, and so in that way it made it a lot more comfortable for me.